Hey, what's up guys? So, here with another video. So, I just woke up from a pretty awesome nap and just had to build my splitter. So, I'm here with my roommate, Joe.
Hell yeah.
We got the garage cleaned up and right now I got a sheet of ABS plastic. It's roughly like, I don't know, what is it, like an eighth, 3/8? Quarter-inch thick. This is probably not going to be the final product. The final product is probably going to be aluminum, but this will at least be good enough for some low speed stuff like autocross. So I think for now it'll be good. So it's a 4x8 sheet and you can kind of see how far back I want to do it. So we'll have to rough in roughly where the tires are going to go, and hopefully the sway bar tucks high enough where it won't rub. But I don't think we're gonna have an issue there with that, and it'll at least close off the most of the bottom. And then the front, we actually gotta lop it off right at the furthest front part of the bumper, mainly because in autocross for Camp T, for it to be legal, it can't go past the furthermost part of the bumper. So it's kind of dope how I have a 4i that it slants back, so that'll give me more meat on the bone, and therefore the splitter. So technically it's still legal. So I'm gonna go ahead, mark this up and trim it to make it a little bit easier to work with and get it set up. So I'll show you how it looks once that's done. Okay, so knocked off roughly I think about 2 feet. Yeah, so I knocked off that giant piece and then a couple of these pieces for the wheel wells. So essentially I just made a giant T for now, and then I'm gonna try and fit it up and try and mock it in like as close as I can to where I want it. And gonna see if I could maybe use a plumb bob or something, try and trace out the bumper line and try and trim it like roughly right around there. See how it looks. May trim it back some more. But the main reason for this is not to give me like crazy amount of aero, that massive front aero. It's mainly just to close up the engine bay. So you see that I have a lot of open space in here, and I don't have fender aprons anymore. I don't use fender liners anymore either. So I really need to box in that air as much as possible. I need also all that air that comes in from the bottom and comes up and just creates lift on the front end. I need to make sure that that's not happening anymore, that the air's just going down underneath the car and shooting straight out, and maybe even using the diffuser a little bit, making it that much more functional, and actually making the aero of the car, a little bit more functional. Which, I mean, this isn't a super crazy track car, but I don't know, just make it work that much better. Make it like look not as crazy as other cars, but work 10 times better. So I'm gonna try fit it up, see how it fits, maybe do some more trimming on the left and right side because it's probably not even centered. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, put this on the time lapse and get going on it. Mocked it up using a piece of scrap wood, going the length, and then 2 jacks, and then the back of the jacks help hold the front from bending down. So here we see how nicely flat bottoms the car, gives you a nice like little floor. It should help just direct airflow instead of creating downforce, directing the airflow a lot better. So I think I'm happy with how it looks back here. Well, so right now I'm just kind of debating whether or not I want to flush cut it here and have it taper out, or going from like the trim straight down and having like a little inch winglet right here that I could later on put like a little bit of an airfoil. What do you think?
Wheel wells.
Those are next. We'll build those too. So we'll get those made too out of some of the leftover stuff we got.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, dude, I can't.
Nice little bed now.
Yeah, I can't imagine just how much like air is getting trapped in like these fenders and just going crazy. I think we can bend it, like give it a little bit of heat.
Yeah. Little heat direction.
Yeah, a little bit of heat and then lock it in. Maybe even make like a little skeleton for it out of steel in there. Like have some bars that stick out and then we just screw it straight onto the bars. It'll add more weight, but I mean it's not like crazy amounts of weight. We can still make it still relatively light and provides tubs. Okay, so you probably saw us using the level to give us a straight edge down. And so now we got a rough shape in. And Joe's breaking shit over. So we're gonna possibly just eyeball it as we're cutting it. Oh fuck, you can definitely see like a nice little divot right there. Probably gonna need some fine tuning there.
This is not even the worst one.
Yeah, I could have probably aimed a little bit better for that one. It's dark, okay? It's dark and we're painting on a black surface with a black expo marker. I know, dude. Just watch. Like, we're gonna get like a million comments.
You know they make fucking paint pens, you know?
Yeah, but it is like 10 o'clock at night and everything's closed. I'm too lazy to go anywhere. I just gotta get this shit done.
Still works.
Nice. But alright, so I'm gonna use my handy dandy table I got here and go ahead and trim that guy up and pretty much get like the rough shape in. And then later on I'll probably work on making mounts for it. But I think for now, just the fact that I don't have the motor and I gotta like take advantage of it because the motor's gonna be here soon. So I gotta like really start working on that shit. Oh hey, is that a white fucking paint pen?
Sure is.
Nice. What was it saying? I don't even know. Alright, well, let's cut that out. Connect the dots over here, but pretty much got it like right on the money. A little bit of like block sanding. That'll be solid. Just a little bit of hand sanding just to kind of like clean up all the like little corners and smooth it out. I think it'll be good, and then we can probably get rid of all this nastiness that's in the corners. But I think it'll be pretty solid. I think tomorrow I'll probably just I still got a lot of scrap metal left, or flat stock. I could probably make some little L brackets and probably just weld those all along. Because, I mean, this isn't going to be super strong. Yeah. It's mainly just so I don't get massive amounts of air that come up underneath the car. So it's more like a splash shield.
And this fucking... Alright, so this is going to go in a little bit for if you ever decide to do like the extension,
Ooh,
save 4 inches.
that'll actually be really
Right.
cool.
So then you get a bolt, you know, and then follow this line out, and that's how your extension will come out.
Yeah. That'll actually be pretty cool to actually do something like that.
And then the extension, there's no play. The whole thing is bending. This piece itself.
Yeah. Well, once we actually get some mounts, it doesn't want to move.
Especially if you have it fastened right here, this little bit rock fucking solid.
Yeah. And then I also got those splitter rods from Full Tilt Boogie. These things are really nice. They're actually super light. They're actually billet.
Good shit.
So some billet aluminum ones. So they're nice and strong. They're light, and they don't look like those cheapo Amazon ones, which sucks because these things are like $100.
Jesus.
I don't know, it's retarded. But I wanted something that at least was good, that was gonna last. So this took me forever to convince myself to fucking buy.
Yeah.
Like it took me forever. It just had to be like one of those nights where I was like drunk and I was like, nah, I'm getting it now. And then it's been sitting in my trunk for like a year.
Really good.
Yeah. And then they're reverse threaded.
How many do you have? 2 or 4?
I got 4. So I got two of the shorter ones and then 2 of the longer ones. And I think that'll be good enough for the outer parts that stick out to keep them from kind of wanting to flap. And on the inside, I think we could put a lot of little like brackets.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're gonna have to do too much, honestly. I say like I say all along the front, like the bottom of the radiator. And
Okay, let's mock it up real quick.
all right, here. So gonna post this up real quick. Okay, so Joe helped me mock it up, but I think it's looking really good. Not gonna lie, I'm actually really liking it. And it's still not fastened. The fasteners are gonna be like out here on the edges, but like already, like these little corners, they're not gonna be much of an issue because we got these. So probably put the shorter ones over here, possibly the longer ones. So maybe something like this, just to help keep it from wanting to flap. I think that'll be pretty solid. So yeah, I'm really liking that idea. So maybe like make some brackets now. Fuck it. So we have the flat iron, so this is what I was talking about. Just making a small little L bracket out of it. And on the inside, right here, just going straight down. Just straight down and mounting it to here. And then in case I'll be able to tell if there's any leaks too, I guess. But just helps clean up the engine bay a lot. This sway bar, definitely holding it from seating all the way. And then once there's weight on the wheels, it actually does twist the sway bar a little bit. So hopefully there's enough room. And then I think, yeah, I left plenty of meat back here. So I'm actually gonna run, I'll probably put 2 nutserts into the frame, or into the K-member, and just nutsert it in. Same with all the little L brackets, I'll probably just run like little nutserts on them. And then same with in here, probably make some brackets for it. I could probably even tie off this corner right here off of this really shittily made bracket I made. So, and then it'll probably be hidden once I take it off. But I think that's it's coming out pretty nice. Not bad, not bad. Really liking it. Yeah, so there you can see like how much more it can go up. This just needs to be bolted. But we'll see. We'll see how she looks after once it's all like bolted up. and mocked in. Alright, so I don't know if I'm gonna finish it off there, but I think I'm gonna try and make something out of it right now. Ew. Definitely putting a wheel on like really shows just how aggressive it is. The wheel still sticks out further than the splitter though. Damn, that is gnarly. Like, you can see just how much that wheel pokes. That fucking steamroller life. And I still gotta put wider tires in the front. Somehow I gotta fit those. But I think it looks freaking sick. Especially that side profile. Once the tire has like a little bit of like that race camber in it. I think it's gonna look sick. But alright. I'll probably finish installing this tomorrow. On the morrow. It really sucks how this thing doesn't really lay doesn't really like to lay very flat. So I don't know. I may end up epoxying like a little tab on the back and then drilling it through the back and just bolting it down. I think it'll hide that and it'll straighten it out at the same time.
Help with airflow too.
Yeah, like so the airflow doesn't get in between the two and start making it rattle. But I think once it gets the turnbuckles will cinch it up. But, alright. That's good enough for tonight. That feel pretty rigid?
Sure is.
Okay, so it's the next day. Late in the next day. Y'all saw how we kind of did the splitter last night. So we're gonna first pump that jack back up. There, much better. We're gonna line them up. Alright. So gotta make some L brackets. Probably just gonna weld them onto the lower bar. And I don't know how I'm gonna mount the corners yet. I think I'm just gonna use the rods themselves. But we'll see. It'll probably be like something that I'll do one thing and then I might have to add some more later on. Or maybe I could do like an L bracket down here. Off of the lights. Yeah, so probably gonna take it just a little bit at a time and just start off with the center two. Gonna make them decently far apart. I may even do a third one. Gotta just make sure that wire's out of the way. That's for the LED lights. Probably do three in the center, and then I'll do one on each end. I think that'll be plenty for that. And then the splitter rods in the front will probably help with it trying to flap. And then we'll do 2 rev nuts into the key member itself. And yeah, so I guess let's get to it. So we got a lot of spare flat bar, and if you're guessing what this is a present for one of our friends. Since we're gonna have the welder out and we got plenty of scrap, why not knock out 2 birds with 1 stone? So I guess let's get at it. We're not even 5 minutes into the next day and you already cut yourself.
Dude, that fucking sucked.
I don't know if we can show blood on YouTube. Probably gonna get kicked for that one, but fuck it.
On my fucking whatchamacallit. Wow, that fucking hurt.
And it's just like one of those like really tiny cuts, and it's just like
fucking deep, dude. Like I felt it cut through tissue.
Yeah.
Fucking that bit on the side, and then it made me fucking rub my knuckle on this shit.
That's gotta hurt. Well, I'm definitely gonna be using gloves from now on.
Fucking hurt.
Sorry, bro. But, all right. Well, I got my stuff. You know. I got my stuff freaking marked out.
Fuck that.
To
Get ready for a bunch with a lot more beeps.
Should we actually beep this stuff out? I don't know.
I mean, We're nowhere near getting monetized, so.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck it.
But, alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out using the vise.
Use to clean up steel quick?
The grinder or the air grinder? We got the air grinder too.
Yeah.
So the air grinder, and then I got some red Scotch Brite, and I think I had some sandpaper ones for it. You may want an actual steel. Maybe also a doctor for that.
Yeah, that shit was really deep.
You know, we're making light of it, but it's actually kind of serious, so.
Yeah.
Don't do what we do. Wear PPE. What you saw me do is definitely put some gloves on now. This stuff is, even though it's like light steel, it's no joke whenever you cut it, especially with like a grinder or something. You can get some sharp edges. So even though we were making light of it, of the situation, hey, just make sure you guys like protect yourselves, use some PPE. That's definitely like a reminder, you know, sometimes shit just happens in the garage. Cause you know, we're working with steel, sharp objects. Anything can happen at any moment, so kind of just help take care of yourselves, kind of do to your best ability to at least mitigate any of the, I guess, the unsafeness that could arise or any kind of possible dangers or risks. So just be careful working out in the shop. Joe's gonna be fine. He got a little lightheaded, I guess, from the side of his own blood, so, but he's cool now. He's chilling inside drinking a soda. Totally fine. But for right now, came back outside after I made sure he was okay. I took all those pieces I cut. I just cut them up super quick and got this nice little bench grinder now from Harbor Freight. Just Harbor Freight specials. You know, sometimes that's all you need. You don't need nothing crazy fancy. I mean, even though this is kind of fancy, this is one of the most fanciest things I've ever used. But helps a lot. It just speeds up the process, just trying to clean up those edges, and leaves it really nice beveled. So what I did was I cut myself 3-inch strips. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, clamp them in the vise, try to put like 4 in at one time, smack them with the hammer, and just do like a very basic 90-degree angle. So that 90-degree angle, you know, it's not a super fancy CNC machined bracket, but the steel, it should be plenty strong enough to at least support it. If we start seeing that it like after the first test drive that it's wanting to come off or something, then we will reinforce it. I'm thinking about probably doing like an X brace of just steel that's just bolted straight to the splitter, just to help keep any. Oh, hey, there's Joe. All better now.
Yeah.
See, Pepsi solves everything. Yeah.
Get some sugar in my blood.
Yeah, I was just telling him, like, making sure I made sure you were okay.
Yeah,
but yeah. So what was I saying? Oh, X brace. So X brace it just to kind of give it some more rigidity, without adding a ton of weight. So this is version 1, made out of ABS plastic. See how bad it's gonna be. Version 2 is probably gonna be aluminum, so a lot stiffer. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, knock those little L brackets out super quick. Cool. All right, let me show you guys what kind of came up with. So made myself those 90s just using the vise, just putting it halfway and smacking it. So doing it this way, you're not going to be able to see it with the radiator in, but you're just going to have multiple points of to hold it. If I wanted to later on, what I could do is maybe make it bolt from here to there, just add like a kind of like almost like a T, just to kind of like reinforce it. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and maybe like clean these up, tack weld them in, and possibly even drill a couple like guide holes, so like it'll make it installing and removing a lot easier, so it'll just kind of like self-guide itself in the future, so I don't have to like realign it and use the jacks. Okay, cool. So after probably ingesting about half a pound in plastic, I was able to get those little L brackets welded up and mocked up. Here, let me just get a quick light. But see how they turned out. So here's a cool thing that I ended up using. So I bought this kit a while ago and just always wanted to try and find some kind of excuse to use it. And what I ended up doing was using nutserts or rib nuts. So what's a rib nut? It's the same principle as a rivet, but this one, you're actually putting threads into a piece of metal. So it works exactly like a rivet. When you crush it down, it'll expand and it'll kind of pinch around a piece of steel or plastic or whatever you're inserting into, but you just got to make sure your hole is dead on the size how it comes unsquished, because when it squishes, it'll kind of mushroom out and pinch both sides of your material. And the center part, it'll actually leave a set of threads. So there you see, I use some M10 bolts because a lot of the stuff on the car is now metric, and it's sweeping down mainly because it's bent up because the sway bar right now is hanging super low, so it's kind of resting on the plastic. But once the sway bar actually goes up to its natural position, the plastic actually sits pretty much like touching the K-member perfectly. So I'm actually going to put 2 more rib nuts in the back, so that makes it super easy. You ain't got to line anything, you just got to put the bolts in. So right now there's actually only 3 rib nuts holding it in place, and it's pretty solid. If I had the back, I could almost like stand on it. I mean, I probably wouldn't advise it with this plastic, but you know what I mean. So I think next I gotta like work on something to keep the edges up, and I don't think I'll need those corner pieces. Maybe in the future I will. That will just require some just straight up testing and tuning. I think it will require one more on the inside behind the fog light. Just something in between this corner and that outer L bracket. Just need something in the middle just to try to catch like the meat of it, to try and keep it from flapping. Same with this side. So probably 4 more rib nuts, and then also in a combination of 4 strut rods. I think would pretty much be in the ball game. So I don't know. I may or may not like go ahead and just try and like drill these in right now. I'm gonna see if I got some bolts for them, because they did not come with hardware other than what you see, just this. So I mean, for $100, you think they'd throw in a couple bolts? Cool. So now we actually start getting pretty serious with what we're doing. I even had to drill into my bumper. Don't ask me how. That shit felt, but okay. So here you see a bunch of green tape, and we actually even mounted one up, and it actually makes it super stiff right there. So I'm actually pretty stoked to see how adding the next 3 will actually stiffen up the front end, and if we're gonna need any more towards the center, and definitely the 2 in the back, in the far back. But pretty much we're just using the tape method. I'm trying to go off by like a reference somewhere on the car, just to kind of eyeball one side. And essentially what I did to mimic it on the opposite side was, once I found out like somewhere where I liked it, and then I kind of measured a good distance from center and pretty much marked my area, I then transferred it over to the other side and marked it on the green tape over there. So right here, what I'm gonna do is, now I'm gonna actually measure all the way to this dot, and then from this dot up to the trim, and then out to here, and then I can put this dot on the same side, on the same spot on the other side. And then the little cartwheel looking thing, it just helps me find center. I just keep making crosses until they try and center them as much as I can. It's pretty like eyeball method, but I'm using a step drill bit, and it's gonna be close enough to where nobody's gonna be able to tell. So if you can, then well, good on you. So I'm gonna go ahead, copy this on the other side, and then get to drilling. And hopefully, once you see it through movie magic, we'll have all of them on. Okay, well, after about 2 hours, the splitter rods are actually on, and not gonna lie, I don't know how I'm feeling the splitter rods. I don't like the high contrast, but it's definitely a lot stiffer. I wouldn't say you can stand on it. I mean, this back corner definitely needs to be reinforced some more, and I also gotta like heat gun that out. I may build something in the back of it that'll hold it up, but it's connected. It's holding pretty nicely, not gonna lie. It's just, I don't know. I think the splitter rods are just gonna have to grow on me. But it's gonna be one of those things that I just don't know. You know? I mean, what do you guys think? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Is it rice? Is it race car? Oh man, I still got a bunch of freaking plastic falling out of my hair. But yeah, so is it just too much rice? I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to it's there for a function, but at the same time, do we need to fix the form a little bit? Try and worry about that form a little bit more. I think I'm just gonna have to see the car on the ground. But I think for now, I think that's a good stopping point for the old 4i, and to be burning the 830 oil. But yeah, I don't know. I'm actually super stoked on how the engine bay came out. I actually dig the engine bay 10 times more than I do the outside. Which, I mean, some people might be like, oh, I like the outside more than I like the inside. But there's something about it. Just doesn't sit right with me. But I think maybe if I get those maybe blacked out, black out the center rods, maybe that might just be it. But for now, I guess I'm gonna stop rambling. So I think that's a good place to stop. Hope you guys learned something. Maybe you can apply this to your project, to your race cars. Again, this is untested. I mean, I didn't really study too much. I see when people build splitters, they make them way more sophisticated than mine. But I just wanted to try it out. I wanted to see not reinvent the wheel, but at least try a different method, just because a lot of people have stock frames. I don't have stock frame. I have tube front end. I mean, those pieces of metal definitely aren't going anywhere. I think the material, again, is too soft. We will end up finding that out hopefully soon, once we get the car dynoed and actually running on the road. I think the heavy dutiness of the material is definitely going to come back and bite us in the ass. So I think I'm probably going to start looking at maybe making that out of aluminum. Probably the same thickness of aluminum would be probably 50 times way stiffer, and I could probably even stand on it. So I'm definitely going to go that route. So I guess tune in for another episode, next time. We'll see what happens. So let me know, comment down below if you like it, what you hate about the car, what you like about, have a discussion about it. So I don't mind backing my work up or hearing your thoughts and trying to see your point of view. I like to see it from all angles. So yeah, I think it helps me kind of grow my mind, you know, try, you know, see things through different angles, through different people's eyes. Maybe you'll see something that you didn't see at the first time, and then later on you'll have like a little bit more of that experience, and maybe you'll think a little bit differently next time. So kind of thinking about it that way. So I guess for now I'm gonna end it here, so I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.